Yo, Bite the Bullet podcast episode. I actually don't know which order this is going to go in, but today we're in a little bit different setup. As you can see, we're actually in Columbus, Ohio at the Loop Vintage, and I have Peyton and Jayson with me. And how's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm liking what you're doing here.
Appreciate you having us out here.
Yeah, dude. So for the audience, we'll get into it a little bit, but we are sitting in Peyton and Jayson's like vintage clothing and shoe store, which is honestly really fucking cool. So when'd you guys open this up?
So we opened about a month and a half ago. I think October 2nd was our first day of opening.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like, for the audience, we grew up together. So
Yep, known this kid for way too long, honestly.
But no, so like last couple of years I've been coming back, or I guess every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And you stacked up like, I mean, I was here last year and you just had like hundreds of t-shirts.
Yeah, so basically I just kind of, I had half my room was filled with like old t-shirts basically, and I was just collecting over time and kind of building up for the store. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I was working at a Foot Locker, so I was kind of doing the vintage on the side and just stacked up for probably like 2.5, 3 years, just finding it at like thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, buying it off people, whatever it was, wherever I could find it, and just kind of saving it up for this, man.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know. And then Jayson, you like for the best, like when did you start doing the shoe game?
I think the shoe started literally like I'd have to say like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just working like a regular job, and then I don't know, I just started looking in like secondary marketplaces, and I was like looking at Facebook and like OfferUp, and I was just seeing people selling shoes and stuff for like dumb cheap, like used shoes, and I would at first just buy them, clean them up, and then kind of just resell it at that point.
Yeah, which I find it like both those industries are super cool because like the vintage clothing's coming back, and like, you know, people are wearing like vintage clothing a lot more. And then also like I remember seeing who's the guy that does like DJ Khaled's shoes? What was it? Benjamin Kicks or something? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, he would source them for him. So like he would so basically DJ Khaled would do like
we got a weird mic set up here. I'm too cheap to buy the claws. It would really be nice to have the claws.
So I don't know if DJ Khaled and Ben Kicks are like
Ben Kicks, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if it's like they're like related in some sort of point, but DJ Khaled put Ben Kicks on like kind of the map for like the whole reselling point, and
that's the first person I saw.
Yeah, Ben Kicks like definitely like was a huge, like he had like a whole lot of like at the time it was like shattered backboards. He had like 100 pairs, and he like posted a picture of it.
Is that is that Jordan's?
Yeah, it's a Jordan 1, and I think DJ Khaled might have reposted it or something. It was like yo, this is my bro, like cooking or whatnot. And then Benjamin Kicks like ended up making a empire like called it was called the Sneaker Dawn, and then just kind of went with that. Yeah,
no, which is kind of cool. So did you guys know like you guys wanted to collab? Like how long? When did you guys figure that out?
It just kind of spurted.
Well, it's kind of funny because actually when like Jayson was getting really into like the resale stuff, I was working at Foot Locker. So we really like kind of reconnected like through like Foot Locker and just like the shoes and stuff, and I would just kind of sell my employee pairs that I didn't want and kind of just help them out a little bit, you know, here and there. And then we ended up like moving in together and started talking about it and kind of just like manifesting it type thing. And I mean, yeah, it kind of just spurred from that. We just kind of ran with it. Like I know he was kind of.
We were kind of doing the same thing at one point, like, but he was doing it in like the clothing, and I was doing it shoes, but it was like the same hustle pretty much.
Yeah, no, and it's like I don't think a lot of people realize how much of a hustle it is, like for both those industries. Like,
yeah, it's funny, man. Like for the vintage stuff, like a lot of people think like I get this stuff for like 50 cents and sell it for whatever. It's really not like that. You know what I mean? There's a whole like secondary market for this stuff. There's people that collect this, including myself, a lot. There's tons of people. I mean, whether it's celebrities or just like your everyday person. Like the amount of people I've met that just like straight collect vintage is crazy, and it's out there. You know what I mean? You just kind of got to find it.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. It's gonna be wild. Like the stuff that we find like not vintage right now in like 20 years is gonna be vintage.
That's something I've thought about. Like, what do I hold on to for you know in the next coming years? But
so on the video, I'm gonna do a little promo and show the whole store. But you guys got like, I mean, honestly, this is pretty insane. But
we've been saving up for a minute. Before like just like thinking of the thought that we're gonna do a store, we've already had like tons of inventory just already set back. So it was like when the thought came like we just kind of like we have enough, we might as well just run off
start
with
it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I remember I didn't talk to you about it, but Jayson hit me up and was like kind of giving me, the thoughts around a store and like taking that extra step and like how like what was that process like for you guys? Was it like a little bit of a nervous thing, or were you like, no, we're gonna fucking do this?
No, it's funny. Like we both kind of reacted differently to it. Like definitely nerves and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Just because it is a risk. It is
no, for
like
sure.
you never know if it's gonna work out. I felt confident because I was doing it a lot online, so I had like a pretty good following already. So in like the area, so I felt like if I did start a store, like I would have that following.
Yep.
But no, in the beginning, definitely. I mean, talks of like, yeah, we want to do it for sure, and then like it gets real, and we're like, is this really what we want to do? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of money, a lot of startup costs, like basically putting everything that I was working full time at Foot Locker, basically put all that money into this. You know what I mean? So it was definitely like an anxious thing, but for me, it was more of an exciting thing. I didn't really get nervous until like the night before grand opening, and then I was like terribly nervous.
You're like, damn, this is happening. This is wild.
It was like crazy, but I was happy with the turnout, and it was like, I don't know. I guess it was what I like wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus more, like I was very appreciative of the love and like people coming out like that I haven't seen in a while, or like just friends like from back in the day that have been following it. So
and that makes you feel good too.
Yeah,
like,
no.
the support and
yeah, for sure. Just having those people show out and show love was cool.
yeah.
And even like just strangers that you just meet while like they're shopping in here or whatever. It's just cool. Just
Yeah, hell yeah.
show to have those like connections and stuff like that. But
I think I was talking to someone about taking like kind of financial risks and the thoughts behind that, and I think in your circumstances, both of y'all kind of already had something going. Like you guys were kind of already in this industry, doing it online, and compared to a lot of people that start businesses, they're like they save all their money to do that business. And if it doesn't pan out, well, they're in the same position they were before, which is still like a good thing to do, to take that risk.
Yeah.
But I think in your guys' case, like you guys already had some stuff that was working beforehand. So I think like you guys taking this risk was like a good, like a smart risk to take. And like at the end of the day, obviously this is going to be very successful, and like it is. But I think it's good that you guys had something beforehand before you guys took that leap.
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, for me, like it's not the financial aspect of it is like obviously it's nice, it's ideal, but like I can feel comfortable, but more so just like I guess putting in like the work before it, you know what I mean? This is very important when starting something. I mean, you can't just like start something and like expect success, you know what I mean? Like it takes time, and this is something I've been working on for years, and a lot of people don't know that. They just like think this place just popped up, and you know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't realize to start a business.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was like a thing for Peyton. Like he's been ready because he's been doing it for like a longer duration than I have. Like I've only started like a year and a half ago, so that's why I was like thinking like this whole like the whole store thing is probably like it's just moving super quick like in my head, and I was like, Peyton's here.
I mean, that is quick though. I mean, a year and a half is quick.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
to do something like this, it's
So
definitely
I was like with P running it like for like a lot longer. I felt like comfortable with him like kind of just kind of like taking the lead on the whole thing. So I was like,
I mean, we had those talks like where like one of us wasn't feeling like it was like the best idea, and we worked out a way so that basically like our risk is calculated, you know what I mean? Like I know I'm taking on a lot, and I'm taking on like, I mean, not all the risk, but most of the risk, just being like on the lease, and you know what I mean, doing that kind of thing. But like I know that, you know what I mean, and I felt ready for that. So we've like worked out a way to where like the risk is like calculated for both of us, and
nice.
We'll both like ideally end up winning in the end, but we'll see how it goes.
No, hell yeah. And
take it day by day.
And you've been doing like tell me how you got the name, and what does the name mean?
So I don't even know. I just made this. So I was living like on the east side of Columbus for like for a long time, and I was like buying shoes like on the east side, so I named my first Instagram page Heat Out East, and I started running off with that. Just buying shoes, and then people knew that I was like out in the middle of nowhere. I'd have like people like come out and meet like me like halfway type shit. Like it was like a big thing. It was almost like an inside joke at the time, but now I'm like kind of like in Central Ohio now, and it's like not really.
Doesn't sound good. Heat Out Central Ohio.
Yeah, it's like a thing where
I keep Heat Out East.
I've kind of like put all my like
that name.
I've kind of put all my like efforts in more into this place more than I've kind of left it behind a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've been definitely just kind of running off with the loop, other than going with the whole Heat Out East
And
thing.
what does the loop mean?
Basically how it started is we were like I said, we were doing like the similar thing. Like we were getting shoes, I was getting clothes, and we were at the time we had just like moved to the same place. So like when we'd be leaving the crib one day, or like when we'd be like going out to get stuff or look for stuff, we'd be like, all right, I'm about to go loop real quick. So when we were trying to come up with the name, we were just like, let's just call it the loop. Like that's what we call it when we're going out to, you know, try and find this stuff and, you know, do the thing. So yeah, we just kind of ran with it, and we thought it like sounded kind of smooth. Like when I started, I was 614 Throwback, which is like I started that like 4 years ago, and I didn't think about the name at all. Like I just, you know, wanted to start something. So that's like a big part of it, is just starting something, and then you can always like, you know, audible. So we audibled and changed it to the loop just because it was something that me and him both were like, oh yeah, like that sounds.
This makes sense.
Yeah, this makes sense. And the loop vintage, you know, kind of thought it sounded good and thought it sounded like memorable. You know what I mean? So
it both clicked for like both the clothes and the shoes, like the loop, like
because that's what we referred to it when we were going and out to run these errands or whatever. You know what I mean? Go. Drive.
You guys were getting up at like, I know I talked to honestly like Jayson more back then.
Mm-hmm.
But like were you getting? I mean, I know from your side, you were getting up at like 4 a.m. to get like cards and like.
Yeah, it was like
that was mostly him for sure.
Yeah, it was like a hot moment for a minute. It was just kind of like I was just hustling I was just trying to honestly figure out like what the best hustle was, and I was kind of grabbing some cards here and there, and like, but honestly, I just kind of stuck with shoes. I kind of left it all behind and just kind of more just stuck with my own role.
Yeah. No,
like,
and for the audience that doesn't know, like reselling mainly football, basketball.
Yeah, like
cards.
sports cards were like jumping for a minute, so I was kind of like
you were capitalizing.
I was in the loop for a minute, like for the cards. Like
there it goes, like right there. Like that's what we like. I don't know.
It was just like there was a lot of people were hip to it too. So it was like a lot of people, like I'm sure, like some people might be watching this and know what I'm talking about, but it was popular for like a minute, and then just like hot players, like it just made the cards go pretty much. So I was out there getting them, and then same for shoes. Like I would go out and like look around on Marketplace trying to find shoes for like the low, and going for like your local stores and maybe finding like a retail pair there. But I mean, yeah, just kind of running around for a minute. I haven't been doing it much like recently because we have a lot of people that bring us stuff as well. But for a minute
so you guys buy, sell, and trade, right?
Yep. So that basically just means like people walk in with like whether it's clothes, whether it's pairs of shoes, and we'll take a look at them. We'll give them like a cash value, a cash value and a store value, and they can just either pick out something from the store, or we'll give them cash on the spot. You know, make a little money for everybody. You know,
nice.
It makes it hard because I used to like obviously not have the store, so I'd be able to run out and look for this stuff and like be in the field, I guess. And now I'm kind of cooped up in here. You know what I mean? So it makes it nice. We have people that kind of do that for us now. Like, not the dirty work, but like it kind of is like the harder like hours, you know what I mean? Like
but I mean, you got
in there looking. Like a big thing is a lot of our people go to like the Goodwill bins, and I don't know if anybody's watching this has ever been there, but I can't stand that place. Like just the bins in general. Like people are like cutthroat and like.
I've never been to. Is it like a separate store?
Basically, yeah, it's a whole separate store, and all their clothes are in like bins, like big tubs, and it's all like by the pound instead of like priced. So it's like super cheap. So like people are in there like looking for, you know, a $250 polo jacket or, you know, whatever, like a rap tee or a Tupac. Like people are cutthroat in there. So like I've heard stories of people getting like bullied in there and all this crazy stuff. Like it's not that deep, you know what I mean? For me, it's the biggest thing why I'm doing this is to be like financially like free and stuff, but also it's something like like I love doing. So like that's a big thing is if somebody's looking to start a business, like you got to make sure you love it, or else you're not going to be around very long. You know what I mean? You'll get burnt out. So
yeah, is that like is that something you guys both wanted to do? Like, how long have you known you wanted to kind of just go out and do your own thing for?
Well, it was like for the thing with the shoes, like I like back to the cards, like I was like trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. Like I was like, do I just get another job or whatnot? And then I just kind of like threw all that off and I focused more on shoes again and was just like, you know what, let me just go back to what I was doing in the first place because it was working out and I was loving it. So I was like, and then I'm just probably just gonna end up focusing on that for like.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
where it takes us.
I always found that you'll work harder for yourself than like anybody else. You know what I mean? So. Like while I did work hard at my other jobs, my other day jobs, it just wasn't like, you know, what I wanted to do or see myself doing. And school has never been like I am in school, I am about to graduate and all that stuff, but it's never been my strong suit. So it's just as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, I think you're gonna be all right. You know?
No,
what I mean?
hell yeah. No, that's sick. Yeah, so like, how's the competition in Columbus? Like, do you guys have like you said
decent.
earlier? There's
I mean, it's pretty decent. We
It's
kind
like
of
up and coming.
Yeah, it's an up and coming.
Sure.
So like, there was already like a couple stores established already, but not like kind of what we have going on as like with the whole everything's vintage, and then there's like your average like retro sneaker and like just your like vintage style sneakers like. But I feel like all the other stores around here are like, they kind of have their own niche. Like like. I would say the one that's like super, like kind of like similar to us would be like Tacklux.
Yeah, and they're super cool dudes. I mean, it's all every time they come in here, we go in there, they come in here. It's all love, you know what I mean? But they do like a similar like.
Oh, that's good. So it's not like.
But like
Yeah,
we're
it's not
cool with
weird.
them.
Battle
like,
of the shops.
We're like sending people their way, and they're sending people our way.
Nice.
Like we have people coming in all the time, and it's just like they send me in your direction to maybe whether it's to give a quote on a sneaker. Or
Yeah, that's
shoe,
the best
or
thing
just
to do,
like
honestly.
for more stuff.
like
I
grow
mean,
together.
I mean, I would hope they do the same. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's business, but it's also like what goes around comes around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You be good to people, and they'll treat you good back. That's as far as like a brick and mortar like retailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I try and tell the people that like work here and stuff is like, just be good to people, like be helpful, and hopefully they're the same way back.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked retail for 3 years before this, and I've dealt with people that were, you know, hard to deal with, and you just gotta, as much as it sucks, you gotta just smile through it and just, you know, be nice, and hopefully they come back, you know. So.
Yep. Yeah, and I think we were kind of like talking about it earlier, or not really this, but I bought a couple pieces of clothing, and Trent and you were like, yo, you should try that on. And I was like, well, I mean, it's my size. Like, why do I need to? But, like, obviously it fits a little bit different, right?
Yeah, so that's a really difficult thing. That's why we wanted to make sure there's a space for people to try stuff on. Even if it's, like, not the best space or the biggest space, we still have a little bathroom back there where they can try stuff on.
Yeah.
But it's just tough because a lot of our clothes, like, we really try and go for, like, I mean, 80s, 90s, and maybe early 2000s a little bit. But we try and stays truly vintage 80s 90s clothes, and there's different ways to tell what's old and like how it's old or whatever. But yeah, the sizing is extremely tough because these clothes have been washed probably countless times. Some of them not washed at all, might have just sat in the garage forever, you know what I mean? Like so things shrink up, and also people back in the 80s and 90s were smaller than they are now. You know what I mean? So it's funny, like a lot of like the true 80s tees, it'll say like XL and it'll be like a small. Like
really?
Yeah, it'll be tiny.
Wow.
It'll just shrunk up, you know what I mean? So it's just, there's ways to stretch stuff out and things like that. But yeah, definitely like when buying vintage or looking at vintage, trying it on is always
and I think that kind of plays into, because, you know, obviously with and I don't want to talk about it too much, but kind of changed our society a little bit was, you know, the pandemic. And, you know, you saw a lot of retail shops and stuff shut down, and a lot of businesses haven't bounced back, but it's obviously given new businesses like you guys, like in retail, like people want to come out and do this. Like people, like this is like kind of like a lifestyle thing to do and go check out new vintage and like try it on because you have to. It's like you're not going to go and buy this like Ellis jacket that I picked up from you like on Amazon. Like it's like I like coming in here and people like to do that. So
that's the thing I really like about vintage too, is just being like unique. You know what I mean? A lot of times you're gonna buy something vintage and not very many people are gonna have that same, you know what I mean, that same shirt, versus like an H&M or like those big stores that mass produce like crazy amounts of shirts. They're all the same print. They're all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and there's a big problem with fast fashion that a lot of people don't know about, is like how much like actual like textile waste there is in like the world. It's like insane, the amount of clothes that are made and never even gotten to the people that need them, or you know. So it's just kind of like, I feel that when I buy vintage, I feel better about spending my money on something that is like sustainable versus something that is like mass produced and like they pay pennies on the dollar for it. That's cheap, and you know what I mean. Like a lot of the stuff is
you're gonna wear it for a year and throw it away.
Clothes made back then were like a lot more like quality too, I feel like. So that's why I really enjoy vintage and got into it in the first place.
Hell yeah, no, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat market. I didn't know like anything about vintage until like I met Peyton, like with the whole anything.
It's a learning curve though. It really is, because I mean I spent some time in like the West Coast, like Los Angeles area. And you go down Melrose, and there's no. I mean, there's like your Gucci and you know those kind of stores, but there's
shit's
not.
Whack.
Yeah, we don't gotta go there. But
if you guys like Gucci and you're wearing Gucci right now and you're watching my podcast, get the fuck out of here.
Damn.
Just
bro.
kidding. I love you. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just kidding. That was bad. I'll probably cut that.
Probably cut it. But you don't really see like Paxton on Melrose. Like it's vintage spot, like after vintage spot after vintage spot, like. It's just a different, like, kind of learning curve bringing it to the Midwest, where people are, like, not as hip to it, and, like, not as, like, same thing in New York, or you go to Miami, bigger cities, like, vintage is, like, big.
What you wear.
Yeah, it's, like...
Yeah. Like a band tee or something.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
But it's honestly, like cheaper, too. Like, I mean, some stuff is pricey, the rare stuff, but... I mean, you can get a like vintage shirt. You can find them at thrift stores for $2. You know what I mean? Versus paying $25 for something at PacSun. Every time.
Yeah, and I never like, to be honest, like I never really got it. I don't like, honestly, this is like the 3 shirts I bought was like my first vintage. I like it, but like I was telling Jay, I went to a vintage shop down in St. Pete, and it's like super expensive stuff. Like, dude, that like. I don't know your price on this, but like a common shirt in here, like let's just say one of your most common shirts would be like $80, and it's like
some stores,
like not even like a cool shirt though. It's just like super expensive, because I guess like the area they're in, they can get away with it.
Some people can get away with it. It's your market, you know what I mean? You got to taper to your market. Like me, I understand that I'm on campus at Ohio State. Like, yeah, there's some probably rich college kids, but there's also some mostly broke college kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a big thing for me is keeping the price point kind of down. I mean, some stores do like charge crazy amounts for something that's not that cool, and I mean, at the end of the day, more power to them, I guess, because they're getting it off and they're doing their thing and still recycling old shirts, but it's just like not everybody wants to spend that on one T-shirt, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. No, I feel that. Yeah, so like what's obviously you guys probably have like different game plans, but like what Jayson, you have I want to get you talking here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good, dude. I love it. What's like what's your 5 to 10 year look like? Have you thought about that?
So like I'd like to do this for like I don't know, like another I would say like so our lease ends in like what is it? I don't even know, like a couple years or something like that. After that, whether like we decide if we're gonna go like further with it or not, I think I was just gonna get into like some real estate, honestly.
Nice, but could you see yourself like just maybe get another location, or is that thought
it's a
about?
Possibility. I mean, with how things are going, I mean, I can definitely see it being like a possibility, but it's like knowing how markets change drastically. Like if shoes didn't like really take off like within the last like few years, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. You know what I mean? Because shoes kind of just like grown, like it kind of took off to a whole nother level of like shoes became like a tier 0 of like a person's like a outfit or something. You know what I mean? It used to not even be like that big of a deal to what you were wearing, but now it's like do you have like a Jordan on, or is it like like a Nike.
Yeah, like TikTok's really probably responsible
Yeah, it's like
for stuff like that.
it's a lot of like the online too. Like that's
Yeah.
like making it like.
You're like
I started seeing commercials
celebrities.
like for
Yeah.
StockX for a long time, and I was like, years ago, like a couple years ago, there was like StockX like for Christmas coming around, and I was like, wow, like people are like really selling these Yeezys on this market and making bread, like, and I was like, I was not even hip to it, and I just kind of found out like that you could kind of put a couple people in there. You could put a couple like get
Those
a
are
couple.
neighbors.
That's my guy QB.
Nice.
He's a guy. He walks around this block a lot.
We gotta get. We
Yeah,
gotta
we
get
have a
QB
lot of
fitted.
dudes that be coming up in here and just
Nice.
showing love.
I'll be working
yeah.
him in this NBA jam over here.
Really? No, but that's cool, man. Like, dude, honestly, I think it's so like new. Like, I haven't seen a like a national vintage store. Like, you
Yeah,
know, you got your Foot Locker, you got your like specific, you got your H&M, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
they don't have like a ton of vintage stores out there, man. It's kind of like,
not really. They don't. I mean, there's some like one that in particular that I took a lot of inspiration from is like Round Two, who I don't know if you have heard of it or if anybody's heard of it watching, but they do very similar stuff. But like
are they in Columbus or?
No, they are. They started in Richmond, but they've kind
Okay.
of branched out. They have a store in L.A., they have a store in Miami, New York, Chicago. But again, all those major cities, you know what I mean? There's nothing in Columbus or say something in Wisconsin or you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like random locations. But that'd be the one that, like, I would say was the most inspiration to me. Like the owner of it, Sean Witherspoon, he's like a sneaker designer. Also, like once he got his store and kind of got known, he started getting into like sneaker design and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I could see myself trying to do something similar. Like obviously, I don't think it'll. I mean, you never know, but I would like to do something kind of like that.
That'd be awesome.
Like Round Two, like definitely like was like wow, like this is possible. We were like I was like thinking to myself I could probably like kind of take that into a different area where it's not really like around Columbus and just kind of run with the whole vintage and the shoe vibe. Like I think a lot around here is just like a lot of shoes and like, and if it is vintage, it's like kind of like your mom and pop like little small. It's not the biggest like. I don't know. I was trying to take like a different
Yeah. No, I
turn
feel
with
you.
it, and I think we're
I
doing.
think you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is my first time in here, and I was 100%. Are we still good? Is it still rolling?
I'll check real quick.
Yeah. It's rolling. All right.
That would have been tough.
But yeah, that would have sucked. Yeah, but no, this is my first time in here, and like, obviously you guys opened 2 months ago, but like I was like thoroughly impressed. Like you guys did
Appreciate
a
that, bro.
great job, and not saying I didn't expect less,
Yeah.
but no, I mean you guys have like a ton of stuff. Like I mean, can I pick this up and show this off?
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen this shoe in my life, and this is like an awesome shoe. So if you're in Columbus, come and pick this up. What's this called?
It's an undefeated. It's the it's like the blue snakeskin version, but
That's-
it's an undefeated dunk.
Okay, it's a dunk.
Low. Yep.
Yeah, that's fresh. Yeah, so like, obviously is there a shoe out there that you can't name?
Yeah, there's probably
Yeah,
a
there's a
few.
couple.
Like way back before my time, I'm for sure.
Before my time,
Yeah.
Did you have to do like flashcards to get used to everything, or is it just like?
No,
You
it's
just
just
learn as you go.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
Yeah.
not like I call myself like always looking like on like marketplaces and stuff, and like just looking at other shoes and just, I mean the names there, and I would just like I didn't know what a Jordan 1 or a Jordan 3 was or any of the order until like
Started doing it.
exactly. So
No,
I mean,
that's hype.
it just kind of it's not too hard to even grasp. It's like, I mean, I guess
Especially
the
if
name.
you like it, you know, you're into it.
Yeah.
You'll figure
Right.
it
Yeah,
out.
you'll figure it out. Dude, that's exciting. Is there anything? Sorry,
No, you're
I was
good.
thinking. Obviously, we're gonna get you this video. Is there anything that you guys want to let the people know that are gonna watch this video? Anything about the store? Or I know that obviously this video probably won't be out by then, but you guys are doing a big sale, Black Friday sale. But is there anything that you guys wanted to specifically touch on in this kind of like industry, or anything that's been like tough for you, or challenges or hurdles that you guys had to overcome to like get where you are?
I would say like the most challenging thing for the shoes, not vintage, would be just like constantly changing like the style of shoes. Like people will like a shoe for like a year, and then like it'll be like it won't even be worth it anymore because like it's just not people's style anymore. Like it would just constantly be changing, like up and down.
Trends, you know what I mean?
It's the trends really. It's like what other people are liking and stuff. So it's like you would have a shoe for a long time that you would think, okay, it might go up, it might go down, like, but like sometimes nowadays it's like I think the best thing to do is just like get it and just make fast nickels over slow dimes. And like I think just holding shoes in general is just probably not the best
risky thing to do.
Yeah, just because trends are changing constantly. You might as well just, I mean, when it's up, like you might as well just get out when you can. And just like for shoes, I think it's just like a weird time for it because people are like liking different things every year to a different extent. It's just like,
yeah,
it's honestly crazy.
Yeah, I had on this guy named Gabe Kozel, and he's a wholesale real estate guy now. I think we were talking about it earlier, but he started with a clothing brand, and we talked about how hard that industry is, to your point, because of trends, and it's hard to get people to like certain things, kind of get that imprinted in their mind on like what looks good or what they should like or that kind of thing. So I could see that being a challenge.
A big thing for me is just having something for everybody, you know what I mean? There's stuff in here that is not for me. Like I would never, wear it, but it's just having something for everybody. Like as far as vintage goes, the thing that's kind of plays to our strengths is there's so many different types and kinds, you know what I mean? Like we have anything from like there's like a Walt Disney shirt over there, and then there's random sports tees like Nike, just music, all kinds of different genres, you know what I mean? And we try to have it all. So whether you come in and you hate sports, you can still find something, or whether you come in and you
Yeah, no, exactly.
Art, like we have art tees, like it's just a little bit of everything,
Yep.
We try and focus on like the.
Is that a Barney Fife?
Yeah, that's Barney Fife.
Yeah, yep. That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah, just like all kinds of different stuff. Like, just looking up here, it's literally like Stone Cold Steve Austin next to like Mickey Twilight Zone Tower of Terror next to Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings. Like, you know what I mean?
And a USA basketball jersey.
And then like Shaquille O'Neal's right there chilling. Like, it's just a little bit of everything,
No, that's cool. Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, I came in here and I was like, wow, I gotta support the boys. I got fully outfitted. Yeah, so I usually ask all my guests. I like to ask the question. So my podcast name is Bite the Bullet Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've explained to you guys like what that means. Maybe you guys have formed your own opinion about it. But I believe, like in everybody's life, there is a situation that kind of defines that current period of that said person's life.
Yeah.
A situation, whatever that may be, that they got to kind of, quote unquote, bite the bullet, or they shy away. And I think, people that bite the bullet and put on their boots, and whatever that is, it can be something small or something huge. It usually takes their life in like a positive, forward-moving motion, and obviously you guys have built something here, but like, and we'll start with Jayson, because he's closest to me. What would be like a situation like that in your life that, and it doesn't even have to be shoe or business related, it can be anything, but like, what would be a bite the bullet moment for you?
Biting the bullet, I would say just kind of just grabbing what you want to do, like, and just kind of taking off with it. I know like a lot of people have a hard time like kind of figuring out what they want to do and stuff, and it's like kind of a tough time for that just because a lot of businesses are closed down and stuff, and I feel like people are just trying to figure out like what I can do to honestly like create some bread. And then I think people just kind of lack like just having motivation to go out there and like whether it's getting a job or creating a side hustle or whatever that might be. I think people are just lacking like actually probably biting the bullet and just figuring it out, like, and going with something you like. And that's kind of what I went with the shoes. So I just kind of, if I had to say biting the bullet, like, I would probably say just kind of doing what you want to do.
Hell yeah.
And I think people are it's kind of a weird time right now. I feel like people are kind of lacking it right now. But
yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. I think rolling off what you're saying, I don't think a lot of people are encouraged to do that. so it's unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for sharing that, dude. I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I feel like we got to get loose a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
I might have taken that question wrong, but
No, that was a great.
I was
No,
just
that's
kinda-
exactly what I was looking for. I like that. That's literally exactly what I was looking for. We got young TZ in the back here. How we doing, young TZ?
Good, we chill over here.
We No, that's a great answer, bro. That's what it's about.
so, explain to me one more time, just because I just want to make sure like I got the right answer for you on the what bite the bullet you're saying.
Anything in your life that you had to make a decision that could like kind of sort of impact your life.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Either you shy away from it or you run with it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I played college baseball for like my first 3 years in college, and that was a big thing for me. Is like when I was young, you're young and you're ignorant. And I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna play baseball my whole life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go pro. I'm gonna do all this, and you find out like as time goes on, as you play through college, like that might not be what's in the cards for me. You know what I mean? So. For me, I mean, I was at a school and I was just like kind of not happy there playing baseball, like, and I just decided like I gotta go a new route with it, you know what I mean? And I found out what I liked, what I was into, and then quit baseball, came home, and just started grinding on what I decided I wanted to do, and that was this, So a couple years later, like with all, like hard work and just kind of persevering through the hard times and stuff, I just kind of ran with it. So that's what I would say the biggest turning point for me was probably.
Yep. No, I like that. That's cool. You were actually playing in Tennessee a little bit, weren't you? At one point, or were you
I've
just
played like all kind of around. I played in Tennessee. I went, visited a couple schools in Tennessee, but I never like went to school in Tennessee. So
okay.
basically,
for some reason I thought you went to like somewhere outside of Knoxville or something. I don't know. We talked about it a while ago.
I think I was
you were
looking
somewhere
at it.
near
Yeah,
me
I
or
was
something.
looking at school out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, no, I started at Sinclair and Dayton, and then kind of went around to like California and then North Carolina, and then just realized like it's not it. You know what I mean?
No, is there is there anybody in your guys' life that you kind of look up to or have maybe like a mentor that gives you I guess just wisdom that you guys have looked up to help you make these decisions about what you guys want to do for your future?
yeah, I look up to you, bro. Honestly, I mean,
Thank you.
I seen you had a little.
Sure, yeah.
I seen you had like
That's
a little
wild.
Amazon little
No,
thing
thank you. I
going, and I
appreciate
was
that.
like, he's kind of like doing this little resale thing with like a little bit of like a I don't know, the whole warehouse thing and stuff. Like I was seeing that, and I was like, man, I might not be as like big as it, but I'll do it in like my own head, like just like this little thing out my crib type of thing. And I was like, might as well just look at my guy and just kind of run off with like a little hustle like that, because I know you were hustling for a minute with the whole your business and whatever you were doing on the LLC through Amazon or
Yep.
whatever. But
No, thank you, man. I didn't expect that. That's cool.
yeah, it was the first thing off top.
Well, I'm
so
glad.
I was like,
No, that's cool, man.
yeah, I was like, I've seen you at a hustle, and I was like, I mean, that's I'll definitely look up to that all day for sure.
hell yeah,
You can
man.
cut this out, but you guys can kiss now if you want.
Off top.
No,
but
I'm just kidding.
probably like my dog, and then probably like my mom. I'm probably looking up to all day. You know. what I
Yeah,
mean?
your mom's the best.
Low key, bro.
Yeah, low key. No, for me, I would definitely probably my dad, even though he does, he gets on my ass and fucking annoys the shit out of me sometimes, but definitely him. I mean, he's the one who instilled the work ethic and all that stuff, you know what I mean? He's been there to help me through this process of, like, there's stuff, I had no, excuse me, that I had, like, no idea about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he, like, kind of helped me, like, kind of learn the ropes and get me started, and then just handed it off to me and let me run with it, you know what I mean? So,
It's kind of good to have someone on your ass a little bit like that,
yeah,
though.
for sure.
Like once you
To a certain
swallow
extent.
the ego a little bit,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, this person kind of just like cares about me and wants me to
Yeah,
succeed.
he just wanted me to succeed and, be happy with what I was doing. So, yeah, no, he definitely instilled the work ethic and all that, and, like, kind of guided me to, follow my dreams and do what I want to do and that kind of thing. So,
Nice. No, hell yeah. Well, thanks for doing this.
For sure. Thank you for having us.
Sorry I didn't we can talk for another hour if you want.
I'm down.
I'm chilling.
No, but Teasy, you want to say anything? Want to hop in here a little bit? I could throw in another mic.
No, you're good, bro. I just want to say, What's up, you two? How we doing? No, I'm good. This is
Yeah, so we I grew up in Ohio, and Jayson, did you move from Zanesville? Where'd you move from?
I came to Granville from Westerville.
Yeah, that's right. Why did I say Zanesville? Jesus. But yeah, so me, Trent, and Peyton all lived in Granville. Jayson moved.
Oh yeah, we got some stories.
Jayson moved into Granville. Jayson moved into Granville, and his house was so close to our middle school. We would all go. Yeah, Jason's house was a spot.
It was the spot for real. We had
Jayson Derulo.
everything you can need in that bitch.
every day after school.
Yeah,
Run into Jason's.
that was fun.
Nice
Shouts out to
little,
Mary Jane. She definitely
Yeah, she put
that
up with
on.
some shit, dude.
Yeah.
She
So did Kelly Tackett over there.
Mm-hmm.
She did. She's a saint for that. We were some hooligans. For sure.
It's kind of interesting to see like where everybody ends up like doing or going or moving or
For sure.
like compared to us as like children and like running around and being like delinquent to like what we're doing. Like from a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis now, it's like we're 24 years old and it's just like weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's getting old, and it felt like it got sped up with COVID and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all that stuff led to this, I guess. You know.
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
it's-
but it's funny.
it's
Like,
great.
if you would ask me, like, you think I'm doing this, like, when I was like, say, 16 or something, I would have been
That's
like,
literally what I was about to say. Like
probably
would've-
not. I probably won't be doing. You know, I'll probably be doing something else. But everything happens for a reason, man. We're here, so.
And
Hell
one
yeah.
one aspect is you get to hang with your friends all day. You know what I mean? You're working with
All
your
day.
friends.
Well, yeah, working with my friends. I mean, we do fight.
And meeting
we
new
do
people.
get
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have our times.
we do get pissed at each other. Some more than others, but.
Whatever.
So are you guys gonna be you guys thought about like shipping? Like I know
Yeah, so that's what I was doing.
website or
That's what I was shipping everything before I opened the store.
All right.
I was shipping everything before I opened the store, but then
I didn't do that for you to like leave.
No, I know.
I
No,
like because me and you were talking about the website.
No, I know.
no, but yeah, I used to do everything online and ship and eBay and all that stuff, and then I kind of just like when we started opening this, I kind of like went quiet for a second and just started working on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ever since we've got it open, we've been too busy to get the website up and running and all that stuff. But we definitely want to get that going ASAP so people from all over can support and get some things. And like we get messages all the time, like, and we'll ship if somebody like DMs.
I know you've
Right.
you've shipped me
Yeah.
quite a bit. Of,
Yeah, so I'll ship
Shoes
if you,
and stuff.
if you like DM us or shoot us like an email or whatever. Like we'll definitely ship it to you.
and
But
it's at the loop vintage _
Mhm.
on Instagram.
Yep, and that's where we do most of our marketing and posting and stuff like that. But we do a little bit everywhere. I'd
Nice.
say.
And then Jason's specifically the shoes are Heat Out East. I know a few of my friends have actually probably hit you up. I don't know if anybody bought
Yeah.
anything, but
Yeah, I get that all the time.
I think a lot of people don't realize like the shoes that you're like messing with, man. Like the shoes that you're reselling, like they're not cheap shoes. Like you're not going to be able to like hit up my boy Jayson and buy like $100 pair of shoe. Like
Yeah, shoes aren't cheap nowadays, which is also a thing where it's like it's constantly changing because people don't want to spend like that.
and they're like rare. Like
Yeah,
everything
right.
you're like messing with, like for the
That's
most
what
part, is like rare.
I've been
It's like
talking to
limited.
him
Yeah.
about like getting in the used market a little bit more and just just being vintage. Like most of our clothes are used, at some point. So
Mhm.
getting in the used shoe market would bring like the price down a little bit too.
So basically when I brought everything in here, everything I had was brand new, and I had like over 100 pairs or 100 like 50 plus pairs, and they were all brand new. So the thing is like a brand new shoe with like the original box will go for like a crazy price compared to like a shoe with no box or a shoe that's just like
It's like buying a watch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it like really changes. Like, so you can get used pairs for like a really used price, and that's where I was like really how I started was buying used pairs and buying them from people, cleaning them up, and then selling them. But then I went to a thing where I was able to buy brand new pairs for the price, and I noticed that people actually liked brand new pairs for like a minute there, but it's kind of to a point where people are like not really. Well, we're in the store aspect that people really don't care. People just want to try to get like a little fit going down.
Yeah,
and
they just
stuff.
want to
Yeah.
get what they want. You know what I mean? What shoe they're after.
But for me, for like a long time, it was like easier to sell a brand new shoe online because it would get there and it'd be everything as described. And
Yeah,
then
for sure.
For a used shoe, it's hard to describe it online because
That's a big problem with online
it's
selling.
really hard with used shoes online.
Especially selling
Yeah.
vintage online. Like, I mean, there's stains, you know what I mean? There's
Right.
stains on stuff. There's marks on stuff. I try and list every picture, but...
And your perception or idea about the quality may be different from somebody else
Exactly,
online.
yeah. Some people might expect a shirt from the 80s to be brand new looking, you know what I mean? It's just not always like that. But
Yeah. Or like a shoe that like has a scuff on the bottom that like someone.
Right. I mean,
Like-
people take it seriously, and then some people just don't care. It's like it's two different opinions, really.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on the person.
No, that's super cool. Yeah, so you guys got to come check out. If I got any Ohio people watching the podcast, come check out Jayson and Peyton store, the Loop Vintage. They got some really cool stuff in here. And Peyton might dub you on NBA Jam when you're in here. If you can beat Peyton, it's a buy one get one store
I've
wide.
actually thought about
Just
doing
kidding.
something like that. That's the funny part.
Are you pretty good at it?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's hard to
So
be
you have a
at
good
it.
shot getting buy one get one free. No, that's cool. Well, hey, thanks for coming on here, man. Thank both of you guys.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope you
Thanks for
guys
having us,
enjoyed
man.
it. Hope it wasn't too many cookie cutter questions or anything like that, but I enjoyed having you guys on, and I've really enjoyed watching you guys grow, both of you guys' hustles,
For sure.
and getting to this place. Like,
Yeah.
this is super exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, this is super exciting. So, my boys, Peyton Ley on Instagram, Jayson McMullin on Instagram, right? And then
Maybe 14.
Peyton Ley 14,
23.
Jayson McMullin 23, and then the Loop Vintage _ and Heat Out East, and they'll get you right with all your vintage needs and your shoes. So check out what they got going on. They got some super awesome stuff going on. And
Or
honestly,
if you just wanna
really,
come hang out.
yeah, come hang out. Yeah, and honestly, like some really like fair price stuff. Like everything in here is like
We try for
Pretty
We
good.
try to keep it reasonable for the people,
yeah.
for sure.
So come, hit them up and come mess with them. And yeah, thanks for being on the podcast.
Appreciate it.
You got to say bite the bullet though. Bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet.
There we go.
Wrap.